A big black Cadillac drove up and stopped at the house across the street. A thin man with a black doctor's bag got out and went into the house. I looked at the name on the door. Dr. Albert S. Almore. Doctors know a lot about people. Perhaps this one knew Lavery. I saw Dr. Almore at the window. He watched me carefully, and his face was angry and afraid. Then he sat down and made a telephone call. But he watched me all the time. 5 minutes later, a green car came along and stopped at the doctor's house. The driver walked across the road to my car. "Waiting for somebody?" he asked. "I don't know," I said. "Am I?" "Don't get clever with me," he said coldly. "I'm Detective DeGarmo, Bay City Police. Why are you watching Dr. Almore's house?" I looked out of my car window at him. He was a big man with a square face and very blue eyes. "What's all this about?" I asked. "I don't know Dr. Almore, and I'm not interested in him. I'm visiting a friend." "I asked the questions, not you," he said. "Go on, get out of here. Move." He walked away and went into Dr. Almore's house. Back in Los Angeles, I phoned Mr. Kingsley and asked him about Dr. Albert S. Almore. "I don't know him, but he was Crystal's doctor for a time," he told me. "His wife died a year and a half ago. She killed herself. It was very sad." I got into my car again and started for the mountains. Dr. Almore was afraid of something. But what? Chapter 2. The Lady in the Lake. I drove through the hot afternoon to San Bernardino, then up into the mountains. Past the village of Puma Point, I took the road up to Little Fawn Lake. The road was slow and difficult through the mountains, and soon there were no more houses or people. When I got to the lake, I stopped at the nearest house and got out. A man came out and walked across to me. He was a heavy man, not very tall, and he had a hard, city face. "Bill Chess?" I asked. "That's me." "I want to look at Mr. Kingsley's house," I said. "I have a letter for you from him." He read the letter carefully, and then I asked him some questions about the house. He was happy to talk to me. "I don't see many people up here," he said. He looked at the blue sky and the mountains, and his eyes were sad. "No friends? No wife? Nothing?" I got a bottle of whiskey from my car, and we sat together in the evening sun and drank. I'm a good listener. "No wife," Bill Chess said again. He looked into his glass of whiskey. "She left me. She left me a month ago, the 12th of June. I gave him some more whiskey and sat quietly. June 12th, the day when Mrs. Kingsley didn't go back to Los Angeles for the dinner.